Hi, this is Dan.
And Tom.
Welcome back to Cracking the Code of Spy Movies. Today's briefing is License to Survive, James Bond's Escapes from Death. We're counting down, chronologically, many times where James Bond cheated or escaped death, from Dr. No all the way through No Time to Die. It's kind of like the Pac-Man character, earning a new life each time.
Yeah, so buckle up, folks. This is going to be a wild ride. We're going to go through all 25 movies, lickety-split. We're going to talk about explosions, lasers, crocodiles, and probably a parachute or two. Also, we use a term in this one that you might not have heard before, but it's the crux of this episode. And that term is something called plot armor. And it's a term that refers to a character's apparent immunity to death or harm simply because the plot requires them to survive. It often defies realism and is dictated by the need for the person to continue on in the story. Let's think of who we might be fans of that might have good plot armor. That's right, James Bond. He's got a lot of it. So let's find out where he cheats to death in his movies and where that plot armor comes about.
All right, let's start off with Dr. No, 1962. Of course, Bond's first brush with death happens in the first James Bond movie, Dr. No. Professor Dent tries to shoot him in Miss Tarot's bedroom. Bond survives, of course, because he's James Bond. We just learned that.
Bond. James Bond.
Simple as that. That's a Smith & Wesson. You've had your six. Well,
So he's got some good plot armor there. Now, we don't know what Mr. Jones would have done with Bond before he bit into that cyanide cigarette, or where he was going to take him and what might have happened to him. So that may be his first getting away from death that was kind of hidden.
Then there's Crab Key, radiation, fire, tar pits. Come on. Bond emerges like a roasted marshmallow, but only slightly crispy, though, I think.
Well, and also on Crab Key, we get Bond's first big escape in that ventilation shaft. He crawls through scalding pipes and radioactive tunnels to slip past Dr. No's death cell, the one he was confined in. It's a very unglamorous escape, but it is effective.
Bond shows skills of resourcefulness here throughout the mission, an excellent attribute for a spy.
So Dr. No's the first James Bond movie from EM Productions. We get the first signs that Bond can escape and cheat death.
Yeah.
So let's move on to movie number 2, From Russia with Love. James Bond avoids death on the Orient Express thanks to one of the franchise's best brawls in the whole series, that brutal fight he has with Red Grant. Bond versus Grant. A Garrett watch inches from his neck. Bond flips the script and the end result by using the stuff inside of Q's briefcase. Grant, he wasn't so lucky.
No.
Bond also uses Grant's pride and training against him to reverse the Garrett watch and strangle Grant instead. So here, he shows his resourcefulness and also his physical training that had paid off in fighting a very fit Grant. And of course, Q comes through. Bond knows exactly what to do with the Q attaché case, laden with the gadgets, what to do with the gadgets. He used the coins, the gas, and the knife. He's got it down.
It's amazing how Q always gives Bond exactly what he needs. Pretty damn good. There are also multiple assassination attempts, a helicopter chase, a speedboat chase with exploding fuel barrels. He survives all of it. Heck, even Rosa Klebb can't get Bond at the very end in Venice when she tries to stick Bond with her poison-tipped shoe blade. In the novel, it's unclear if Bond will survive because Klebb does nick him with the poison blade. But not here. Of course, Tanya helped out quite a bit too. Winning allies, though, is another way to cheat death. So that's good.
I'd call it skill, but really, it's plot armor. They need him to survive.
All right, Goldfinger, 1964. And Goldfinger, Bond faces the most famous laser in movie history. Well, this is the first laser scene in any movie. So the laser scene, Bond is literally about to become Swiss cheese. Well, not exactly Swiss cheese, maybe neatly sliced cheese. But how does he get out of that?
Well, he survives by talking, right?
Yeah.
He bluffs about Operation
that's a good
Grand
skill.
Slam, so it forced Goldfinger to keep him alive. Again, there's no strength here to escape the laser, but he uses his cunning to do it. Remember, he's a cunning linguist.
Yeah. New skill we're seeing here. See?
Yes. He's
That's
calm for the most part, under intense pressure, and he comes up with a plan to perhaps stop the laser and he can escape. So the moral, for him at least, when in doubt, talk louder or bluff really, really well.
Or maybe British accents just confuse lasers. I mean,
Oh, jeez.
we're new then, so who knows? All right. Anyway.
All right, so he survives many other times in this movie by charm, wit, and persuasion, and his ingenuity. I mean, remember the DB5 car chase after Tilly Masterson's death? And well, even though he's cuffed to a nuclear device in Fort Knox, he figures out a way to get uncuffed. Now, he doesn't figure out a way to defuse the nuclear bomb, though. The CIA and MI6 guys have to do that at the very last 007 seconds. So help is always welcome if you're a spy, and he gets a lot of it throughout the series. And luck comes into play as well.
Yeah, and we're seeing him use different skills in these movies and on these missions here all the time. And we're seeing the character being built in front of us here. That's the cool part of watching these movies sequentially, really. All right, Thunderball 1965.
So Bond has to deal with sharks in this one, right? So we're getting new things each episode. We get underwater spear guns, exploding boats. He's almost shot at the Kiss Kiss Club, yet somehow he survives.
Yes.
How? Well, at one point he uses something called a mini rebreather. Lungs bigger than a submarine. Check. Bond escapes death about 6 times, maybe more. The highlight is him using that mini rebreather to survive being trapped underwater. Q comes through again. Bond is prepared because of Q. He's got his calmness, and he knows how to use these gadgets from Q. Now, we do see the rebreather again in On Her Majesty's Secret Service and in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah. And here, calmness, like you said, calmness saves him. He has the rebreather with him, and he knows how to use it. Perfect. And he's calm having to do it. Except there were a couple of instances where he got a little nervous in real life.
Well, that's true.
With the sharks.
I wouldn't be comfortable around those sharks either. But
No.
again, more than strength, I mean, strength helped him a lot with Red Grant, but it's his mental acuity that saves his life often. And he survives many other times in Thunderball. You've got the Junkanoo escape and chase, the thug who is sent to his room, who then Bond scalds him in the shower, turning around Fiona Volpe at the Kiss Kiss Club, so she is shot, not him. That one was impressive. And
That's quick.
He just continuously demonstrates quick thinking, quick action, and a deep-rooted sense of survival. He knows every situation he's in can be dangerous, and he tries to be mentally prepared for that. And still, he has the capacity for a quip or two. You get the point.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
That might have been a little play on words.
Yeah. All right, you only live twice, 1967. Okay. Now, Bond fakes his death, a trick he'll repeat later, remember Skyfall, for the first time here, and gets fished out of the ocean by a submarine. To me, this is one of the best pre-title sequences. Just terrific, I think. Classic move. He avoids getting poisoned to death, avoids dying by the gases at the grotto. Inside the volcano lair, he dodges machine guns, grenades, and probably molten lava. Oh, that wasn't really molten lava, but I think that would have been cool. And that would have...
Yeah, I think it was a dormant volcano they did that in.
Yeah. But despite Blofeld's warning that you only live twice, Mr. Bond, Bond lives a lot more times. So he's pretty damn good.
Well, and then the classic cigarettes save a life, too.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
As does Aki and others. Again, he keeps getting help, but that's what good spies do. And he survives. Right. Again, he has some luck, and his mental skills help save his life. Spy again, Bond. Next.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service, 1969, Bond has to deal with ski chases, avalanches, and Blofeld's evil lair. Bond skis and somehow escapes to spy another day. Many attempts to kill him happen in this movie, from being shot at while in the telephone booth, to car chases, to the raid at Piz Gloria. He's Bond. And he even escapes the attempt to kill him by Blunt when Tracy is killed instead. The most tragic end of a Bond movie, yes, but Bond survives nonetheless.
That's one of the most poignant use of luck that he has for escaping death.
Yeah. And it was really unclear whether they're going after him or her. Maybe it was just her they were trying to get. But anyway.
I'm not sure. All right, so Bond in the movies has always been bigger than life, and that's what we've come to expect from James Bond.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move into Diamonds Are Forever. There's the pipeline escape, cremation. That I really like that. The moon buggy chase, the oil rig explosion. All of these are survived by Bond. Even that elevator fight at Tiffany Case's house was iffy for a bit. And that one, Bond should have had the upper hand from the jump.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah. Now you say pipeline chase. You mean the pipeline Bond is buried in? That
Yes,
one?
the one he's buried in there.
Yeah. He escapes simply by kind of wiggling out of it after Wint and Kid leave. A surprisingly low-tech escape, and lucky to awake, really, and find an exit maintenance hatch, which he finds. I love the part in there when he's with the rat, though. He said, one of us smells like a rat. Oh, I'm sorry, it's me. I love it. That was good.
Well, this is definitely one of those where luck really helps out a lot.
Yeah, like we always said, hey, just kill him for crying out loud. You're burying him in a pipe.
Just
Hey,
shoot
wait, no
him.
time to die. All right. And he still looks perfect, actually. I don't know if he's using hair gel or whatever. Maybe it's magic, but Bond looked pretty darn good coming out of that pipe.
There is a lot of magic in Bond movies. We've mentioned this in many other episodes. Here, though, Bond shows a variety of skills, not mental and planning skills, but more physical skills in this movie. And geez, he even escapes Thumper and Bambi. Check out our interview with Trina Parks, who plays Thumper. We're releasing this in December of 2025. Happy birthday, Trina.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Live and Let Die, 1973. In Live and Let Die, of course, the biggest escape is the crocodile farm stunt. Boy, Bond literally runs across crocodile backs. Well, yes, that actually happened, and the stuntman, of course, was Ross Kananga. He did it for real. He owned the farm, and the producers and writers appreciated him so much they named the main villain Kananga. That was cool.
Now, Dan, you have to remember, that was James Bond who crossed those crocodiles back. When a stunt performer is playing James Bond, as far as we, the viewer, are concerned, is James Bond did it. It doesn't matter who the actor was.
No.
So in this case, Bond does walk across those crocodiles' backs.
Yeah. Running would be the thing. Now, for the crocodile thing, I would not try this at home unless you're Bond, or obviously, or no, I mean Kananga, actually. All right. The Man with the Golden Gun, 1974. You got to look at The Man with the Golden Gun. In this one, Bond escapes death with luck and skill. While in Hong Kong in the beginning, he does not get hit with the assassin's bullet because he didn't walk in the way of it, and Gibson got shot. So that was kind of lucky. The karate school ambush could have done him in, really, but he cleverly escapes, helped, though, by the nieces of Hip. So Bond gets him help here, but that's okay.
He likes getting help, and he needs it a lot.
Yeah.
Now, another thing in here is that car chase with Scaramanga chasing Bond when he's driving that AMC. And he does that corkscrew across the river. That was cool. I mean, that was skill as well as guts. And that stunt took a lot of planning to get right.
Oh, yeah.
And then even the solar panel with the Solex. He could have been electrocuted, but nah. And then the best part of this is the funhouse. I mean, the mirrors, the lasers, the shadows. Bond survives like a ninja with a Walther PPK.
Yes, he does. Now, I always wonder why Scaramanga had a figure of Bond in his funhouse to begin with. Because it was Maud Adams' character, Anders, who sent the 007 bullet to MI6, not Scaramanga. So I don't think Bond was ever on Scaramanga's hit list, was he?
Well, but who put the
Always
007 on that bullet? It might have been Scaramanga.
No, it was her, I'm sure.
Well, she says she sent it, but I'm not sure that he had.
All right, maybe. But
Whatever.
I never understood that because it was confusing.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
not sure about that one either. But
All right.
as a bonus here, besides using quips to diffuse a situation, Bond is also pretty smug about not getting killed most of the time. He does it. Is it confidence or is it naivete? I'm not exactly sure which it is.
I think it's after the fact confidence.
Okay. Okay, I'll give
He
you that.
survives, then he's confident.
I'll give you that.
All right. The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977. We have one of the most exciting pre-title sequences in Bond cinematic history here. When Bond is ambushed by KGB agents after leaving the woman in the cabin, who's also another KGB agent, in Austria. Of course, Bond escapes multiple gunshots because his enemies, like we see in many of these movies, are not good enough at shooting to hit anything.
Maybe that's why they don't just shoot him.
Yeah. And he skis off a 2,000-foot cliff. Dead silence. Then the Union Jack chute opens to save Bond. Ah, yeah, that was a perfect, stunning moment in Bond movie history. But he survives that because, again, prepared. He knows what he has and he knows how to use it.
Well, that jump almost did kill James Bond, or at least the person who was being him. He cheated death here with this
It was
jump.
close.
Because the next time you watch that jump, pay attention to the skis. They almost took out stunt performer Rick Sylvester. And as I said before, the stunt performer is James Bond. So here, Bond survived an almost accidental death here. He cheated death, and it wasn't part of the script.
Yeah.
That
Rick
was not
Sylvester
plot
cheated
armor.
it too. No. All right, so here he is. He's demonstrating his coolness under pressure and his expertise with weapons and gadgets. And we have the rooftop sniper, too, in Cairo. Bond ducks and survives, barely. The Jaws attack at the ruined temples in Egypt. And, of course, one of the best chase sequences in any Bond movie, the Lotus chase in Sardinia, Italy, where Bond, driving the tricked-up Lotus Esprit, escapes the motorcycle sidecar bomb, the car chase with Jaws shooting at him, Naomi's helicopter chases with the Lotus, driving off a pier and featuring its submarine-like qualities. And wow, of course, underwater, he's avoiding all kinds of attacks as well. All of this is demonstrating Bond's driving skills, his knowledge of the Lotus's capabilities, and how to best use those capabilities at just the right time. Of course, Triple X knew about the Lotus as well because, she stole the plans a couple of years before or whatever she said. This is the key. He knows how to survive. That is why he's MI6's #1 agent.
Now, I do have to say, if I had a car that could act as a submarine, I could probably cheat death while being chased and being shot at. Of course, I'd have to be near water.
Yeah, right. That submarine thing.
The other thing to watch when you're watching all of these cheating death scenes, James Bond's tux and clothes often look pristine throughout.
Yeah, he looks good.
Bond standards, folks. Got to keep it up. I guess the message is, if you're going to cheat death, do it with style.
Yeah, and he does. And he's been doing it for all this time. All right, Moonraker, 1979.
Now, in Moonraker, Bond survives an astronomical number of times. Sorry, that was a bad pun. But Bond goes skydiving, literally in the pre-title sequence, without a parachute. Survive this, and well, Bond can survive anything. Even Safin, right? No chute, no problem. He steals a chute in the air from another diver, and that is the ultimate knowledge of aerodynamics and coolness under pressure. I mean, it's almost like diving without a chute into a plane. Oh, wait, that's another movie.
Yeah, wait, I did have it.
But what a start here. And it shows us our hero, James Bond, can face any danger and figure a way out, even if he's falling out of an airplane. He figures out how to cheat death.
Yeah. All right, the cable car attack in Rio, of course, the centrifuge trap, the sniper attack in California. You missed, did I? The glass showroom attack on Venice Island, the gondola chase, knives, guns. He gets away with it all. And the carnival attack, of course, with Jaws chasing him. The Great Amazon boat chase where Bond is attacked by Drax's henchman on a machine gun boat. Man, he's good.
He is. And I really
shows the skills that he's accumulating here and what he has been trained to do. This is the beauty of this.
Well, and even I love that fight in the glass factory because he's going against a ninja who's extremely skilled fighter. And yeah, you get all the broken glass and stuff, but it ends in a very campy Roger Moore way. But that fight was a good one.
Yeah. I mean, he escapes using Q's boat gadgets and, the parasail, when he parasails off. We actually stood next to that very boat, which the Ian Fleming Foundation has in their possession. And they have the actual boat that was in that movie. So that was kind of cool to be right next to that thing. And
now, don't forget, Dan, he also gets to have the right thing at the right time. I mean, remember, he had poison with him to stab that python when the python tries attacking him.
Yeah.
So he poisons this thing and kills it. It's like, how did he have that with him?
Wasn't that a poison pen, or was it?
Yeah, it was a poison pen.
Oh, I get it. Poison pen. That's good. And of course, the space station shootout. Well, he could have died maybe 100 times there or more. Even at the very end, trying to escape in the pod. I mean, he survived that as well. And of course, he had help again. And when Drax had him cornered, Bond remembered, hey, wait a minute, I got this wrist poison dart thing that Q gave me. And that saves the day for him. This is what we Bond fans came to expect and what we came to love. The good guy wins, and Bond was a good guy.
Yeah, he was. I mean, this is definitely classic Bond, classic defiance of reason, plot armor. Anything reasonable hits him, but he survives, and that's the point. Through these first groupings of movies, throw at him what you want, he'll cheat death at every turn. He is just that good.
Yeah, he is. All right, For Your Eyes Only, 1981. One of my favorite Roger Moore outings as Bond, along with The Spy Who Loved Me. It is just a solid movie, and guess what? Bond somehow survives a myriad of attempts on his life. Here, Bond is chased on skis again and is being shot at and still escapes. He even avoids getting buried in an avalanche. He's a skilled skier, of course.
Of course.
Hitmen, boat chases, underwater retrieving the 8-deck with equipment falling on him and everything. He gets out, even scaling the cliff at Meteora. For the final confrontation, he survives the fall and still gets up to the top and lets the lift down to bring up his team. This is Bond at his best, a leader, resilient, skillful in many areas, resourceful in getting the help he needs, and, well, he's Bond.
Yeah, he has plenty of plot armor on in this movie. Now, one of my favorite scenes in this one is when Bond and Havelock get dragged underwater behind Christados' boat. I mean, the coral is slicing him like sushi. Again, Bond survives, and he saves the girl.
She saves him, too.
Yeah, always good to get a little help from a friend.
Yeah.
Now, for me, if that was me, I would have been screaming, lots of other things. Bond, smooth as ever.
Hey, check out our wonderful interview with Julian Glover, of course, who played Christatos here. That's a great one. What a gentleman. Listen to that one. Octopussy, 1983.
Okay, Octopussy is out there, but there's some great acting in this movie, and lots of it. We have train ambushes, knife-throwing twins, there's a barge explosion, there's airplane fights, there's Fabergé egg traps, there's a palace fight, the yo-yo saw.
Yeah,
Come on,
good.
Add Khan to the whole mix. That's great. I love that yo-yo saw. It's very frightening and probably a very deadly weapon. And Bond had to be happy he cheated possible death with that one.
Yeah, I mean, look at all this time. We're here now in 1983, and Bond's escaping more deaths. Why and how does he survive all of these things? Well, Ian Fleming said it best in an interview when he was asked, would you ever kill off Bond? And he said something like, oh, no, I could never afford that. That's why Bond survives.
There's your definition of plot armor. But
yeah.
And through all of this stuff, Bond somehow still manages to be charming. Seriously, I mean, how does he do it? I just don't get it.
That's how. He's just a cool guy.
I would not have that steadiness to me.
Yeah. All right, View to a Kill, 1985. It's not everyone's favorite Bond movie, but the important thing is Bond survives this one to spy another day. Again, Zorin's henchmen are after Bond, and he survives gas explosions, many gunshots, helicopter and blimp chases, water-filling mine shafts, and the ultimate massive explosion that would have flooded Silicon Valley. Part skill, part determination, part persuasion. But Mayday helped quite a bit, sacrificing her life to save Silicon Valley, and Bond got saved as well. So it's good to have help.
Yeah, I love these helpers that switch sides and end up helping Bond out. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And of course, the final showdown on the Golden Gate Bridge, I mean, that's what Bond movies were all about. Give me something big where there's all these death obstacles that can be thrown at Bond, and he just jumps over all of these things that get thrown at him. He's that skilled.
That's the good part of Bond. The Living Daylights, 1987. This has a great pre-title sequence when Bond escapes from the top of a vehicle, plunging off a cliff at Gibraltar, only to survive with a burning parachute to land on a yacht owned by a bored, beautiful woman. Okay. Cargo plane escapes, hanging from a net midair. He survives. He even survived Necros, who was tremendous in this movie.
Yeah, what a great henchman.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Yeah. So again, Bond cheats death here. And it's also a great start for a new actor playing James Bond. And he continues to survive many more times. Safe house explosions, henchmen, Pushkin, and more.
Yeah, I mean, the skills he demonstrated here, I mean, he's very cool under pressure. He's serious, deadly, skilled at both physical and mental preparation, and knowing what to do and when, always. Timothy Dalton's first outing as Bond here, he showed all of previous skills Bond has demonstrated. Plus, he is dead serious and very much the Fleming Bond. So I like Timothy Dalton as Bond.
Yeah, I agree with you. And with all of this stuff, he remains calm. It's what we've come to know. The writing is really good here. And when it is, you can somewhat predict how a character might act in a situation. Bond's going to be calm and figure it out. And remember, this is all before Purvis and Wade came in and ruined it.
Yeah. There you go. All right,
Sorry. On to License to Kill.
One of my favorites.
In License to Kill, his main skill here is that he survives Sanchez time and time again. Mostly by using charm and winning him over. That's so Sanchez believes Bond is on his side for quite a while in this movie.
Yeah.
And deception was the primary skill here to basically survive the mission. Yes, they're sharks. They're the Crest Warehouse goons, the maggots, yeah, the gunfights in the Florida Keys, the helicopter fishing for Sanchez's plane, Killifer, the tanker truck explosion, gasoline, and Sanchez's machete. Bond survives all of it. And I really like how he cheats certain death in that chipper scene.
Switch the bloody machine off!
Dalton's Bond is basically indestructible out of spite. I mean, he just won't have it. It's good.
It's that whole plot armor thing, right?
All right, let's move on to Brosnan in GoldenEye, his first outing as Bond. All right, we get a new one. All right. After a long wait, Pierce Brosnan debuts here. Lots here. And Bond uses his skill, his resourcefulness, knowledge, coolness, physical and mental acuity, all of this to survive. Great start with a bungee jump off the dam. Probably not life-threatening, but he had to infiltrate when he got down to the bottom, and he did.
Well, just as long as the bungee cord was the right length.
Well, people jump off that very dam today. They paid to do that. I wouldn't.
Not me.
Cerviniana base escape is very cool. Skydiving, helicopter attacks, satellite attacks, underwater, out of water, rooftops, tank chases, Zenyatta top strangulation, lots of gunfire, Trevelyan, and plenty more. And there's always debris being blown all over the place in Bond movies from all these massive explosions and everything. And Bond does not get seriously injured from any of that. Bond survives.
Yes, he does. And he looks good while he's doing it. Plus, I love the fact that they had him facing off against a former 00. We see that again in Skyfall. Both guys were skilled at killing, yet it's Bond who survives.
For England, James? No. For me.
I love that. That's a great line. All right. Tomorrow Never Dies, 1997.
This is a good movie. It's full of Bond escaping death right from the get-go. You've got that terrorist arms bazaar missile strike that happens where Bond is nearly killed when the Royal Navy fires a cruise missile at the bazaar. Well, he's still on the ground. Thank goodness it takes a little bit of time for a missile to get to where it's trying to go. Bond wanted to get his mission done, so he risked his life again and survived. When Bond does get away with the jet fighter with the missiles, we have the cockpit fight. And then Bond releases the ejector seat, crashing the other plane. I mean, what a nice way to cheat death.
Yeah, I'm not finished with the jet stuff either, because or the danger. Enemy MiGs lock onto Bond's stolen jet, and they fire missiles at him. And Bond survives with radical maneuvering and high-skilled flying. What doesn't he know how to do?
He knows how to do everything.
And he survives more, like the car park ambush, the Saigon ambush, famous motorcycle chase when he's handcuffed to Wai Lin, and the helicopter is chasing them, and the blades are going at them, and more. Survives all of that. Torture, death threats in Carver's printing facility, the press conveyor fight, the halo jump, the gun battle, and physical fights on Carver's stealth ship. Yeah, Bond survives.
Don't forget how he turned the tables on Assassin Dr. Kaufman.
Oh, yeah.
That was a classic cheating death scene. There are plenty of times that Bond could have died in this movie, but no. His skill and training again shine through. He knows a lot of stuff about everything. He can maneuver just about any vehicle, which is kind of miraculous. But we don't mind the miracles watching Bond. We expect them because he's covered in plot armor.
Yeah. Then we mentioned style points. I mean, Brosnan carries on the tradition here. He was good. 10 out of 10, I think. All right, The World Is Not Enough, 1999. Lots of people badmouth this Bond movie. I thought Sophie Marceau was outstanding. Bond escapes the exploding money right up front, and the Cubo chase scene, which involves some dangerous maneuvers and gunfire. The Millennium Dome jump, just grabbing grappling gear, saved his life there. He's that good. I mean, the helicopter, buzzsaw attacks, the pipeline bomb, gun ambushes. Look at Zukovsky's casino. He talks his way out of there. And the torture chair, and more. Does that get Bond? No, he survives.
Yeah, you just mentioned the helicopter buzzsaw thing. Those things, they're a real thing used in forestry. At first, when I saw them, I thought this was just some kind of a new take on that yo-yo saw we saw in Octopussy.
Yeah.
But it's a real thing, and what a great weapon. It's not normally used as a weapon, but what a great weapon. And Bond and Elektra cheat death because Bond had that jacket that Q gave him. Of course, Q gives him exactly the right thing. That jacket that had that inflatable device in it that provided that protection zone from the avalanche, kind of like an inflatable condom around them. Now,
Yeah.
there's a very similar device used multiple times in one of my favorite animated spy movies, Spies in Disguise, which you've probably never seen as it's targeted at the 12 plus age group, but you should see it. And in that movie, that inflatable thing that looks almost identical is called an inflatable hug. And yet, Bond is still standing at the end of this movie like nothing happened. Here, Bond demonstrates his elite training, elite abilities, calm thinking, and execution of duties, and he has some physical abilities shown. He's trained in all of these things. So whatever was thrown at him, he figured a way out one way or another, because this is Bond.
Yeah. All right. Die Another Day, 2002. All right. One of Tom's least favorite Bond movies.
Yeah.
As much as fans dismiss this movie, the pre-title sequence with the hovercraft chase is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll agree with you about that chase. For me, it was the only good thing in the movie.
Good. So you like part of it. That's good. Right, this hovercraft chase is wild. Tons of gunfire, minefields, and explosions. That's not enough to kill Bond. Because at the very end of that chase, he's saved by the bell.
Yeah,
So-
and the crappiness of that movie started with that line. Purvis and Wade at their worst.
Yeah. And let's not forget Bond survives torture for like 14 months while in North Korean prisons. That alone shows what Bond is made of. Tough as nails, never breaks. He escapes Hong Kong hotel attacks, Zhao attacks, the best being the chase between Zhao's Jaguar and Bond's Aston on the ice in Iceland. I mean, that was cool. The ice palace flooding as he saves Jinx. The Icarus strike that caused a tidal wave, no problem. We all remember how Bond parasailed his way out of that one, right?
Jeez.
And the final battle where Bond survives on Gustav Graves' plane. It was like I think it was an Antonov AN-124-100 Russian cargo plane, to be specific. There were several death-defying acts here, and Bond gets the better of Graves. So you live to die another day, Colonel. Yeah, Bond survives.
Well, we have to talk about that parasailing thing again, because who can forget this? The CGI physics of this thing were just abominable. They're still irrelevant. CGI works much better than what they did there.
Yeah,
Bond lives, although in my opinion, they should have just killed the movie.
All right. Casino Royale 2006. Moving on to Daniel Craig's taking on the James Bond character here. Craig's turn as Bond, he's a much more human Bond in terms of getting injured, bleeding, emotions. Casino Royale is an outstanding Bond movie, and Craig's debut as Bond is terrific. He escapes with his life many times in this reboot of Bond, as we see Bond earn his 00 status by having to make 2 kills. The pre-title is fantastic. The black and white bathroom brawl, Bond's first kill, is brutal and displays the cold-bloodedness of Bond. He could have died right then and there before ever earning his 00 status, but here Bond displays his tremendous physical training and skills. That was cool.
Oh, it really was. And when he kills that Dryden guy, the Prague section chief, who was played by Malcolm Sinclair, it was Bond's skill and knowledge that saved his life. Remember, Bond was there first. He unloaded Dryden's gun because he knew where Dryden kept it. So, click, click, nothing when Dryden tries to shoot Bond.
Yeah.
And then Bond executes his second kill, which was much easier.
Yes. Considerably.
Considerably, yes. And he survives Madagascar bomb maker chase, which is a very action-packed sequence. He orchestrates and hijacks Carlo's bomb on wheels at the airport and survives the last second. Physical skills in the spotlight here and mental planning skills. He's poisoned while playing Texas Hold'em. His Vesper is tainted and he survives. He shows up again to play a moment later and says,
I'm sorry. That last hand nearly killed me.
Yeah, now you talk about luck. He was very lucky to survive that poisoning.
I think you got to be sometimes.
Although, as per usual, he did have some help.
Yeah. And then you got the stairwell machete fight. Great physical abilities, again demonstrated here to survive. Brutal killing instinct and so on. He also survived Le Chiffre's torture, as we all remember. And Bond was in tremendous pain, but still remained cool.
I've got a little itch. Down there. Would you mind?
Yeah, now I have no doubt that Le Chiffre would have killed Bond in that scene. But again, someone helped Bond out of that situation. And it's not always the good guy that helps him.
Yeah, right. In this case, yeah. He survives the Venetian sinking palace. I mean, we spoke to Steve Begg, who was the key special effects guy for this scene. And he survives Vesper dying as well. The bitch is dead. So check out that episode with Steve Begg.
By using his training, his high-level physical and planning skills, and his ruthless ability to kill, Bond survives yet again. Nothing is more important than the mission. So let's move on to Quantum of Solace, Dan. It's another Bond movie that many Bond fans dismiss, but we kind of like this one. And we interviewed Roberto Schaefer, the director of photography for Quantum, and he had some great insights into the making of this movie. You've got to check that interview out. It's a long one, but it's really good.
Yeah, we got a two-parter on that one. He was terrific. All right, so we started off with a chase scene in Italy as Bond is trying to make his way to Siena, Italy, in Tuscany. Now, the chase is high-powered, very intense, and many have criticized it for the shaky cam and the quick cuts. We find that added actually to the tension and to the realism of a car chase of this magnitude. So I didn't mind that at all, really. To the stone quarry, winding roads, tons of gunfire. Doors flying off cars, Bond survives, demonstrating his calmness under pressure, his ability to think what to do next and to execute on that thinking. And the mission. He's going to get the mission done. Get it done. Bond gets to Siena with Mr. White in the trunk, again, using all of these skills that have been building from Dr. No on. Bond is using these skills to survive.
Well, another place where he cheats death here is when we've got that chase with Agent Mitchell across the rooftops after Mitchell reveals he's a quantum plant. I mean, that's really well done.
Yeah.
It's a historic bareback horse race held twice a year in Siena, Italy, on July 2nd and August 16th. The races take place in the city's main public space, the Piazza del Campo, and are a competition between the city's various districts, or contrade. Now, the Polios occurred before they started filming for Quantum, but they wanted the real Polio in the movie, so they went ahead and started filming early and filmed the actual Polio race and interspersed the way. And I love the way they did this because this was an intense chase scene, and they're interspersing the real scenes from the actual race with Bond here. And of course, Bond survives this very intense chase, showing his physical skills and his shooting skills as well.
Yeah, one of the best survivals I thought in this movie of Bond was when he was in Haiti, when he enters Slate's room and he's ambushed by Slate with the blade.
Yeah.
And Bond's got him down on the balcony out there and killing him. You just look at his face, again, showing Bond's physical skills for sure. As he's killing Slate, the look on Bond's face is just stunning. It's like, would you die already? I've got things to do, you know.
Yeah, don't die another day. Die today.
Yeah, I know. All right. And you got the boat chase, of course, with General Medrano's goons chasing him and shooting at Bond. That's another great death-defying scene. Bond, despite all of this, survives to spy again. Yes.
Yeah, I think you've also got another scene that just shows Bond's prowess when he's flying that DC-3 in that dogfight. I mean, they parachute to relative safety, although he does need to find a way out of where they land, too. But of course, he does. He's got great plot armor. He survives a lot more, including deserts, hotel fires, car bombs, bullets flying, and he does it all as we expect. Bravo, Bond.
Yeah. All right, Skyfall 2012. Wow.
Yeah, now this is the highest grossing Bond movie. It's solid. It's got a great villain in Silva. It's not my personal favorite Bond movie, but it's okay. And it had an emotional ending we hadn't seen since On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Although
Yeah.
Casino Royale was pretty emotional as well. Bond has some nice death cheats in Skyfall, in part because Silva was a former 00, like Trevelyan. And also, Bond looks like he died right up front as Moneypenny takes that bloody shot. But no, he's got plot armor. You make it look like he dies early, but he survives.
Yeah. Hey, he's like Sherlock Holmes at Reichenbach Falls. He survived.
It's true.
All right, there are also train shootouts, train explosions, the Shanghai skyscraper helicopter attack, water and rapids, motorcycle chases, MI6 bombing ambush, the whole shootout and firefight at the Skyfall mansion, and surviving Silva many times, though M does not. Well, that was tough.
That was tough.
Yeah, what we've come to know about Bond through all of these movies now, all the way through Skyfall, is Bond knows how to survive. What we've come to know through all of these movies through Skyfall so far is Bond is a survivor. He stands for the good, and the good will win.
Well, and it also shows us that the plot armor doesn't always help Bond with others, right? With what happened to M there, right?
Yeah.
Bond survives. He had the plot armor. M, not so much.
All right, let's move to Spectre, which was supposed to be Daniel Craig's last Bond movie.
I wish it had been.
Uh-huh. It gets criticized, but it still is a decent, entertaining Bond movie, and Bond does live on here. The pre-title sequence is one of the best and deserves recognition. With Sciarra to kill, the Mexican Day of the Dead parade and festival, the chase through the festival, little like the Junkanoo and Thunderball, and the helicopter fight scenes. There are about 10 ways or more that Bond escaped death just in the pre-title. I mean, that was fantastic.
Well, yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, and of course, we also had the sniper threats, the high-speed car chases in Rome, the plane and car chase in Austria, explosions, lots of gunfire that never hit Bond, the Hinks fight on the train. I mean, Bond is good. Despite the odds again, he figures his way out. And I loved the way they ended this movie with him changing his personality a bit by not killing Blofeld at the end.
Yeah.
So for Bond, 100% plot armor, gets through everything, very confident throughout, and his hair, of course, is perfect.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the last James Bond movie that Eon Production will ever make, because it's all Amazon now. No Time to Die 2021. That's what I could say about this movie.
Yeah. I mean, many fans and many Bond fans don't like this movie because it's controversial, to be sure. Now, when I saw it, we did a first reaction episode with Vicky Hodges. And my comment about it was, I thought this was a fantastic action movie, but a terrible James Bond movie. I couldn't tell it was James Bond. Yes, he had some of the plot armor until the end. He does a pretty good job of surviving. He's lured out of retirement by Felix to help with one big mission, so that works well. There's the long pre-title sequence. There's the car chases in Matera, Italy, motorcycle chases, that bomb explosion at Vesper's grave. That was a big cheat on death. He survived the trawler incident and explosions, even though Felix Leiter did not. He avoids booby traps, countless shootouts on Saffin's Island, being hit by bullets there too, and then,
And then,
he lost his plot armor.
Yeah, we did an episode on, was killing off Bond a good idea or treason? And we have had tons of responses on that, tons of listens on that all over the world, and tons of responses on Facebook on that. And one guy said, hey, no, Bond survives this. Don't worry about it, because when he got blown up at Vesper's grave, you saw how violent that was. He just got knocked out. The rest of it's just a dream. It's like,
geez.
Okay.
I do not want to see a dream ending at social at all.
We've seen James Bond in 24 other Eon Production movies and many, many missions. And through his training, his mental skills and planning skills, his ability to think on the spot and create escape plans instantly, his physical training and abilities to use that training, his training with weapons, his knowledge and use of Q's gadgets, and the useful items he may find along the way, his skills with vehicles, knowledge of poisons, his ability to predict and anticipate an enemy's moves, his mental stamina to never, never quit. This is the Bond we have come to know and love as he developed and enhanced these skills throughout his missions. And what do we get here? Boom! Destroy all that.
Yeah.
He can't figure a way out. I don't like it.
Exactly. So we've mentioned dozens of ways that Bond has escaped death and the Grim Reaper in his previous 24 Bond movies. And there are probably 250 or more times he's escaped death in the series, not counting every bullet that was fired at him that the henchman can never hit him with.
Yeah.
But until this movie, Bond has 100% plot armor. He always is able to survive and cheat death.
Yeah.
All of the James Bond movies have highlighted the risk, mortality, and high-stakes cost of espionage. We've seen many agents die, many shots. We know the inherent risks. James Bond just doesn't die because he's wearing his plot armor.
But you see No Time to Die, you see Felix Leiter die, you see Olive Specter die, you see Blofeld die. They just set us up. And we see Bond die. Well, we see the incoming missiles and the explosions, and Bond just stands there. Why? Every other mission, 24 movies, he's figured his way out of hundreds of ways where he could have been killed. But not this one. Yeah, he dies, and No Time to Die has the ultimate narrative and the emotional payoff for Craig's 15-year tenure as 007. And it's strongly suggested, and I think even Craig admitted it, that he wanted Bond to die when he was finished with Bond. So I think that's true. Though in Spectre, this is the thing. He was going to retire at the end of Spectre, and there was no intent for him to come back as Bond. Remember, I'd rather slit my wrist than come play Bond again. Ian had to convince Craig to come back, and maybe that's when it happened.
Well, in any case, in this movie, he takes off his plot armor. He realizes, I'm going to die. I'm just going to take it. And the string gets broken. Then it's going to stay broken unless the writers do something really stupid, like that whole dream thing you just mentioned. Or he got blown into the water or whatever. It's like, okay, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for it. Yeah, he's a hero dying for the love of Madeline and Mathilde. Yeah, sure. He's sacrificing his life for theirs. That's touching. It's nice. But Bond is our escapism, our entertainment, our faith that good wins. We don't need this heavy-duty ending. There's always a way out for James Bond.
And there might still be, Dan.
Yeah. All right. We're going to see. All right. I think that's a wrap. We looked at all 25 of the Ian Productions James Bond movies. We saw that Bond had a lot of plot armor that was used to help him cheat death until he didn't. This has been Dan
And Tom.
of SpyMovieNavigator.com and our show, Cracking the Code of Spy Movies. Please remember to subscribe to our show right now so that you don't miss any episodes, and that helps us out a lot too. Keeps us going. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it.